All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and kick off the meeting. Welcome back to VGDC. What? Huh? Oh, where's that? Oh, this thing.
The big room, use it.
Is it on? No.
Turn it on top.
Is it on?
Is it on?
Hook it into my frocket. I can't hook it into my frocket. All right, guys. Yeah, welcome back to spring 2025. Where should I click this? Perfect. Yeah. For those of you who are returning members, welcome back. For those of you who this is your first meeting, thank you so much for showing up. I hope you enjoy your stay at the Video Game Development Club. But yeah, so we have more than a few announcements to get through to start off the meeting, and then we're going to go into a mini jam later, which I think will be a fun way to kick off the semester. But to start with, we've got a new framework for our Wolf project system, which, if you're unfamiliar, it's kind of a long-term project system that we've been working out some kinks on for the past couple of semesters now. And yeah, so we're going to go over that first. And I hope that this is a system that is better tuned to you all to be able to work within as students and get some long-term experience out of and be able to, provide a really solid portfolio piece. But yeah, so start with, as I explained, Wolf projects are student-led long-term projects and are treated as an extension of the club, but are typically kind of worked on and done somewhat externally, like separately from the main club. And for people working on Wolf projects, there are a variety of benefits that the club can provide to assist with the process of development and even getting into things like publishing. So, over the past couple of years, we have, for one thing, revived Wolf projects because they were dead for a little bit there. And our goal has been to kind of see what works, just kind of stress test it a little bit, and continually make updates in order to make a framework that best suits our members. Yeah, that's just kind of the main reason for our refactor. We're doing it again, seeing what works and all that good stuff. And yeah, it's very similar in a lot of ways to the last system, but also very different. But also, I know that probably not a lot of people actually saw the previous system, so this might be just entirely new for a lot of you. And we're just going to quickly go through the process of creating one, getting one started, developing one, finishing one, all that good stuff. And yeah. So what do I need in order to make a Wolf project? So the two major prerequisites are a team and a pitch. The team should be what you assemble first. You should know roughly what the team is going to look like in terms of specific people, the roles they fill, that sort of a thing. And this is to facilitate a environment where everyone who is working on the project is involved in its creation. I think problems we ran into in the past where this was not a requirement is that it often felt like the person who was the project lead, it was like their baby, they had the creative control, and that kind of distilled other members' abilities to contribute as freely as we would like. So we're borrowing a little bit from some other clubs that we've talked to in this sense. And I think it'll be a great way to stimulate the actual initial creation and ideation of a project concept. Second of all, you need a pitch. So this is going to be a pitch that you give to the officer board. We'll help you work through it. We'll give you feedback, advice, and eventually approve it as a Wolf project. And the reason for this is kind of just to give it the VGDC seal of approval in a way, and make sure that it can be the best project that it can be, at least by the officer board's discretion. All right, so there are a few required roles for each team. But of course, every team is going to look fairly different. So these ones are mostly just from a management standpoint. So you need at least 4 members. That is what, in our opinion, is just a good size for working on this. And we want Wolf projects to be collaborative. So solo or like duo projects don't fill that role quite as heavily. Reason being, of course, we want to simulate professional, like AAA work environment as much as we can. Additionally, there are some required roles that, like I said, are management focused, that being the team lead, the production lead, and the programming lead. This is kind of just to give you all an idea of how tasks should be divvied up, and all that good stuff. And then finally, all members of the team should have been members of the VGDC for 1 year, as in 2 academic semesters. The reason for this, which I know might seem a little bit of a strict ruling, is that we want you to be able to take advantage of the game jams that we host, to meet and find people who you would be able to confidently form a team around. All right. So what should the pitch look like? Pretty much just a general description of the project, the systems you have in mind, genre, engine, core mechanics, all that good stuff. And then we want a list of current members. This would include first and last name, Discord @ stuff like that. Things that allow us to figure out who you're working with. As well as a rough timeline of the project. This would be like milestones that you have in mind, that sort of thing. Yeah, just some other stuff that I thought might come up as like an FAQ, sort of a thing. Can I use game jam projects as a basis? Yes, absolutely. I would even encourage it. I think that that's a great way to kind of test out a mechanic or something that you think would be fun and expand it into a more fleshed out project. Why the 1 year membership requirement? I covered that already. And can I join a Wolf project after it's been approved? In the past, that has been our main method of forming teams, is for people to pitch Wolf projects and then work through the club server to gain members. This time around, I think it would be best to at least try out keeping this to a minimum, and kind of just using the server to gain members if you find mid-development that a role is not being filled, or if someone needs to leave the project for whatever reason. And of course, if this is the case, the officer board will assist you in doing this. Yeah, Wolf project development timeline. So during any given semester, a limited number of Wolf projects may be active at a given time. This is just a logistical thing. Likely no more than 2 or 3. And they will be operating on a semester basis, meaning that the rough duration of a Wolf project is an academic semester. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but we'll get into that. Basically, it would account for the 2 main breaks, summer and winter break, as well as an academic semester. The order of which just kind of depends on when you start development. But yeah, so getting into that a little bit further, there are, like I was saying, 3 main chunks of development time, depending on when you are approved for start. So if you're approved at the end of the fall semester to start on a Wolf project, you would have winter break, spring semester, summer break, and then the first day of class is fall semester. That would be your tentative deadline. Spring semester is just all right. And yeah, due to kind of the new structure of this, as well as just kind of a way to hopefully make this flow as smoothly as possible for students, I've chunked it into development sprints, that being a sprint taking place during either winter or summer break, a sprint leading up to midterms, a sprint leading up to finals, and a final sprint that is during the other break. And yes, so we do want to try and have team leads of the Wolf Project meet with the officer board for just kind of check-ins monthly. This is mostly just for creating a open-ended means of communication with us for any advice or external input, that sort of thing. Just leaving ourselves available, basically. And yeah, like it says up here, very low pressure, mostly for advice, check-ins, make sure that you are keeping the momentum that you want on these projects. All right. Now there is a kind of expectation of commitment to Wolf projects. The reason, again, this is maybe a bit more of a stricter ruling similar to the year-long membership, but I think there's a good reason for it. That being that it creates a baseline for all team members to operate under. And the intended purpose of Wolf projects is to give you long-term development experience. So there is a expectation that it be, while it is an active project, the primary focus of your time spent doing game development work. This would mean that you should expect not to participate in jams for that semester is pretty much the gist of it, with special exceptions for jams that provide particularly important networking events, such as one that you will hear about shortly that's relevant for this semester. And yeah, let's see. Finishing a Wolf project. As I mentioned at the beginning of the slide deck, there are certain benefits associated with Wolf projects for publishing. There is a clause in our club's constitution that states that for a completed project that a member has submitted, that project being a Wolf project, I suppose, we will take a certain amount of funding out of our club's budget, assuming we have the money to do so, of course, to pay for a Steam page or a Google Play page. So that should assist with getting a published game that you can put your name to, put some experience with that on your portfolio, and I at least have noticed that that is a pretty major checkbox for applications, especially if you were interested in going into game design. Yeah, just a brief disclaimer, you own this. Pretty much that's it. If you have any specific questions about that, feel free to message me or any of the other officers, but just generally, you own your project, NC State doesn't own your project. Scope. All right, so under previous implementations of the Wolf project system, I believe that scope is the biggest factor by far for why projects tended to lose momentum, fizzle out. And I think that the way that we approach Wolf projects as being this like, oh, this is your time to cook. This is like you've been in the club for years. Go off, go show off your skills and make a cool project. That does not have an end goal in mind. We want to make this a system that does have that in mind so that we get some finished products out of it and we don't just kind of allow it to be unfettered creative energy spent. So scope is something that we really heavily encourage you to keep in mind during the initial ideation of the project and throughout the entire process. You will be managing it just as things come up, making changes to the scope, altering for whatever events happen during the process of working and development. Yeah, some good scope reference points. We have our club's very own Whittle Wizards, which was developed for Eluding Dare. Yeah, you knew that was there. I'm not surprised. It was developed. The initial thing developed in 2 days for Ludum Dare last spring. It has stayed at a roughly similar level of project scope since then, but uh, polished heavily. And it has been, at least at the time that I made this slide deck, which was the end of last semester, it was roughly the same amount of time that you should expect Wolf Project to run for, like 8, 9 months in development. So if you want a really good reference point for what the scope of a Wolf Project should look like, go play this game. There's an itch page for it is it linked on the VGDC's?
I mean, if you want me to, I can link the Ludum Dare and the itch page.
Mhm.
Ludum Dare is the original build.
Is it separate?
Yes, Ludum Dare, or the Ludum Dare page is the original build, which is like the jam version.
Yeah.
You can see the full version.
That would be, yeah, that'd be good to do. Some other ones these are all just games, if you're not familiar with them, that basically do a single concept very well. The Celeste down there, that's the jam version, not the full release. Don't do the full release of Celeste for your scope. Final stuff. All right, so why make one? Like I was saying earlier, this the prospect of being able to list a game that you have published on your resume, even if it's self-published, is going to make you a much more appealing candidate to anyone hiring if you want to go into the AAA games industry than someone who doesn't have that. That is the biggest reason by far to do this. It also could just be fun. You could get a cool, fun project out of it. But yeah, I'm not reading all that out loud. If you want to read that, go for it. We'll publish the slide deck later in our Discord server. Additionally, this system, I think, factors in really well to the VGDC as a curriculum, which it's kind of like almost unfortunate that we have to treat it that way, but there aren't as many opportunities anymore in the games department. I know that people who are, or not, the games concentration. I know that people who are in it have been kind of disappointed with some of the classes just not being offered anymore, stuff like that. So the main point here being that without the system in place, the VGDC curriculum looks like this. You're a freshman, you do maybe 4 jams because we offer approximately 2 in a semester, and then you move on, you've gained a lot of jam experience. You're a sophomore, you do that again. You're a junior, you do that again. You're a senior, you do that again. And then by the time you graduate, you have roughly 16 game jam projects under your belt. That is a fantastic game jam portfolio that does not have long-term development experience. So by sacrificing 2 jams in place of a long-term development experience, you are robustly adding to your portfolio. And yeah, it kind of just mixes up the options available through our club as well. Yeah, this is what I just said. I think that's the last slide. But yeah, that is the new system that I think we'd like to try out. You may notice that winter break just ended, and that was what was listed as the initial jam sprint. So just because of the way things turned out last semester, this ended up being fine-tuned and finished at the very end of the semester, and I wanted to pitch it now because the turnout is much better. So this semester, if anyone is wanting to start one, is going to be kind of an exception to that timeline, which just means, you know, approach scope appropriately. Luckily, winter break is the shorter one. So yeah, that's about all I have for Wolf projects. And if you have any questions about the system or are interested in developing a Wolf project for the club, please message any of the officers. We'll be happy to give you whatever information you need. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, you're able. Oh, you're so goated.
Yeah.
We had to do a transition real quick. Thank you. I'm just gonna hold this. Hello. Okay, so I now present to you the shirt and sticker design contest. Well, so we're going to have over the course of this month, so by the 29th of January, that is this month, so it's not a full month, you guys have more like 3 weeks, we're going to have a t-shirt and sticker design contest. So you can submit a design for a t-shirt to represent like this sort of like semester this year, and then stickers that you would just want to have. So winners will be determined by a full club vote after February 5th. And the first place t-shirt designer will win a free copy of their shirt. So free t-shirt. You should submit designs then to get the free t-shirt. And the top 3 sticker designers will get one of each of their stickers free. Of all the stickers submitted for free. You'll be disqualified if you don't adhere to the official rules, which we'll get to in a second. Please ask any officer about the requirements if you're not sure about them, if they're not clear. For questions, all of us are available to be DM'd for that. So here are the rules. You have to have VGDC on there somewhere. It can be the logo itself, or the text. It does not have to be like the main design. The main design can be, you know, what you want as long as it's appropriate. But it has to have VGDC on there somewhere. You pick a t-shirt color. So pick the t-shirt color, and then the design itself has to be 2 colors at the most. So you have 2 colors, and then you have t-shirt color, and those are the 3 that you can work with for the t-shirt itself. So specify the shirt color when you send it in. Submit your design as a PNG, transparent background, all of that, so we can put it together. And you cannot sign it. Do not add your name. And for the sticker rules, similarly, it has to have VGDC on there somewhere, or be, you know, clearly related to the club. You don't have color limits now. Unlimited color. Do with that as you will. This can be a PNG or a JPEG. And you can include the outline of it, you know, kind of like the white outline of a sticker, or we can do that for you. Doesn't matter. And again, please do not put your name on it. So here's some examples of previous designs. You have the previous t-shirt designs over there on the left, some previous sticker designs on the right. So you can get a good look at what has like won previous contests. That's sort of an idea of what we're looking for, or what the people in the club as a whole are looking for. And if you have any questions, go ahead or message one of us. Oh wait, yeah, no. This is not.
All right. All right. So we have a couple more announcements here. First of all, Global Game Jam. This will be from January 24th to January 26th. It'll start on a Friday and end on a Sunday. We'll push out more details as we get closer to that date. But we do have a server that you can join if anyone wants to scan that QR code. We'll be putting out a link to it later on. So this isn't like your only chance to join it. So I'll leave that for a second if anyone else is doing it.
Yeah, it begins when the theme is revealed by Global Game Jam, so that's a lot of fun. You know, even if you're not going to participate, maybe you're not into the theme, but it's a great opportunity either way. So I definitely recommend Global Game Jam if you're looking for kind of a shorter term jam.
Anyone else scanning the QR code?
You can post that on the Discord.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be up on the Discord.
Yeah.
It'll
All
also
right.
be there next week.
And then next up,
There's nothing happening in there for those 3 weeks, so.
Exactly.
our next announcement.
Jeez. Okay. Awesome. All right, guys. Huge, epic, and awesome opportunity coming up this semester. Woo! Triangle Game Jam. So what is that? What am I even talking about? We're doing a huge game jam with us, UNC, and Duke. And it's going to be over the course of like 9 days. And on each of those one of the respected universities. And this will come with a bunch of really awesome events. It's going to be a huge collaboration. We're going to be trying to like work with Duke and UNC students, and we want to like form groups with them. And like it's going to be forging a great opportunity to like build games with them. And so it's going to be a fun opportunity to like exchange information. And also, there's going to be a bunch of networking opportunities. We're going to have guest speakers from industry professionals. We might have prizes if you make a really cool game and you work really well with people. It's going to be cool. And t-shirts with the logo and free food.
Sure, this sounds too good to be true. Surely I have to pay or something.
No!
Sign up.
And so we'll be coming out with like a sign up for it. We're just going to try to see if we can get a good number just so we can scope everything correctly. But this is going to be a really awesome opportunity for you. Like, this is probably going to be one of the biggest events that we have this semester. So I would heavily encourage you to try to get involved with this. I'll be having more information about it like in the coming week or like within the next 2 weeks for sure. But I just kind of wanted to bring this to like everybody's attention just to like plan for it. This will be from like Saturday, February 22nd, all the way to March 2nd. So, and it's really the weekends of that week period that are like really important. During the middle of that week will be like kind of like work time that you can communicate with your groups and like try to be pushing to get all your work done for the game jam. But like really those weekends is like when we'll be traveling to Duke's campus, we'll be traveling to UNC's campus. The game dev clubs from Duke and UNC will be traveling to our campus for like the showcase. And so we're going to be having a lot of people come, especially at NC State, for this showcase. And people that like aren't even like participating in the jam, just people that are in the game development industry and like really involved in the community are going to be showing up to this event and seeing like what we're capable of. So this is like a really cool opportunity to like, show up and show out, and like maybe build some cool connections and like show like, what you are able to do. And I think it would be a really great opportunity for all of us. Great for a portfolio and stuff like that as well. So heavily would encourage participating in this event. Very excited about it all. Hope you guys are as well. We'll be having a Discord for it as well. I will be sending that out, I believe, within the next week. So then we can get a lot more communication going on over there as well, along with like the clubs, the other game dev clubs as well. So just wanted to bring this to everyone's attention. Hope you guys are kind of excited about it all a bit. Good. Yeah, thanks. I didn't use the mic.
And with that, we finally have all the announcements out of the way. Now we can go on to the mini jam. All right. Now, for people who haven't been to mini jam, might be asking, what is a mini jam? So, similar to a game jam, you have a limited amount of time to develop a single game, following a central kind of theme, and the asset could be any of the things up there, sprites, models, even whole little games if you want to. So you can do pretty much just about anything, some kind of asset. And then here's some examples from the previous jam we had last semester. So this kind of get an idea of what kind of things you could make.
Yeah, and I think it's not included because obviously it's not a picture, but I think there was a couple, maybe not games, but I think there was at least one game.
Yeah.
But there was like particle systems. There's a lot of things you can do in the time that we have left.
Yeah.
If you want to.
All right. And then
It's up to you.
yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and pick a theme by audience choice, and then we'll spin it on a wheel. So let's go and open that up. Whatever default stuff's on here. Okay.
We're gonna take suggestions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to raise their hand, you there? Tungsten cube. I can just type. I can just type it. I'm type.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You. Cat. Oh.
What's that?
There we go. Wheel. Okay. You there? Weather. Okay.
I'll start taking suggestions.
Cyberspace.
Cyberspace. That's a good one. Ocean.
Ducks. Mitchell. Bones. True. All right. True. Bees. Okay.
Ooh, I like that.
Wait, I'm tweaking. Hold on.
And don't forget to shuffle.
Is it? Hold on. Hold on. Is it? Hold on. It has 2 letters. Which one is it? Shoot.
Race to show us 2 eyes. Strawberry
No.
Is it both?
Is it? Wait.
No.
No.
It's gotta be 1, 2.
Yeah, it's close enough. Close enough. You know.
It's one of those words that even if you spell right, it doesn't really work.
Yeah, I know.
Can we get your rap?
Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay, I think it's right.
What? What'd you say? Sonic? Like us? Okay. Yeah, up to the interpretation, you know.
It could be anything. We had Patrick as a theme. It's not exactly.
That's true.
Target, slime.
Slime?
How about goo?
Or goo.
Or, you know, I think, you know. Or. Shadow. Okay. Wait, hold on. Okay, let's do 3 more. How about we generalize it a bit and just do egg? Okay. Up to interpretation.
You don't have to. It's up to you.
You know. You know. All right, that'll be the last one. Okay.
Well,
Now-
let's shuffle them first, so it's fair.
Does it?
Because there's some
Sure.
that are clustered together.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We'll shuffle a few times.
Can we get
An
an image?
image?
Yeah, whatever the first image on your computer is. Or that computer.
This computer?
So it's on your computer.
Oh, yeah, we can add images. Hold on.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait,
Add an entry, you gotta add it.
Image?
Yeah, you can add it.
Apparently.
I have no idea. It could literally be
Oh,
anything.
yeah, add images entry.
It could be bald Kiryu.
it could be a screenshot of like
Do you have anything to hide?
Here, I got you. No, that's a good question.
checkbox for what? Oh, okay, I understand.
There we go.
Perfect. You know, if it hits it. All right. Time to spin. Drum roll. And we got ocean. All right. So hey, let's see. So, hold on, 1 hour timer. We'll do. Or is it 1 hour? Do you think?
Yeah, well,
We'll do 1 hour. All right. All right. We're gonna start now.